I am.
So let's get this over with.
Sorry, Joe. Making sure nobody else jumps in here.
Did you survive the Flacco family film session okay?
I did. I got through it. It was tough, but I got through.
Did they have some critiques?
Yeah, my oldest son, the first thing he said was, "Where were you throwing that one ball? Who were you throwing to? The pick."
Joseph, from a health standpoint, I mean, I don't know if you were sore on Monday or what have you, but does it kind of help that you hadn't played in a long time in terms of being able then to make it through the drive
Yeah,
here?
I'm sure at this point, like, that I ultimately feel a little bit more fresh than most guys do. When you've been through a whole long season, even though your body kind of gets used to the wear and tear, you're dealing with something. So at this point, to be able to come in healthy, even though I haven't dealt with getting hit and all that, you're always healthier and more fresh in the beginning, and that's kind of what this is for me. So,
Joe, you said the other day that after the game that the Browns didn't call right away. So what are you thinking, I guess, during that period where they don't call, and then when they do call, and then how the workout goes? Like, did you know right away you were coming here?
well, obviously, I didn't know I was going to be here, so like hindsight is a different thought process than like when it's in the moment. I don't think it was really no different Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday than I had been doing, because I hadn't gotten a call to that point and just hadn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, so now to look back and say, okay, I didn't come out here till Friday to work out and stuff like that. I don't know. It's tough to explain just the difference. I really wasn't thinking much of it, though.
Jim,
Did you
almost
watch,
every week here, before you arrived, the question was who's playing quarterback this week for various reasons. That's been established, I guess, now after the game. The coach named you the starter for the rest of your life. Does that change anything in your mind? Does it make it easier to prepare for the journey ahead?
No, I think in your mind you gotta take it week to week anyway, and act like you're the guy and focus on being the guy. So really, nothing else changes. We still want to go out there and have a good week's worth of work, and that's really what it all comes down to.
Joe, did you watch games on Sunday when you were waiting for the opportunity, or was it kind of weird to watch games?
It's always a little strange to watch games, but what else are you really doing on Sundays? You usually do a few things in the morning with kids. I watched a good bulk of the 1 o'clock games, and then after that, I tended not to watch as many as of the 4:30 or the night games.
What do you see when you look at this Bears defense, Joe?
Well, they've been creating turnovers recently, and I think they make you kind of go the long way, and just be patient.
Joe, Ryan, I think it was Ryan Clark said you tried out for a TV show. Like, was that something you really considered just being done and being an analyst, or how did that kind of play out?
I really don't want to have to ever do that stuff. 15 years ago, I would have told you no chance at all. These days, I think you at least entertain the option. But yeah, I know. I don't know if you guys know me at all, but that's the last thing I really want to do with my life. So.
But did you audition?
I went over. Listen, they had they were actually doing a thing at NFL Films, which I live 15 minutes from. So it was a good little way to go, kind of feel it out and see if it was something that, you'd be interested in doing, could get better at, whatever it may be. It's definitely, listen. That's kind of what I mean. Like 15 years ago, it would have been just a hard no, but it still took some convincing for me to get over there. But at the end of the day, it was an experience that was probably worth having.
Joe, Miles said after the game, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be one of them if you're not already one of them. How important is that to hear from the captain of this football team?
Yeah, well, that's important. I think I've talked about it from day one, just becoming part of the team. And wanting to prove that you deserve to be a part of the team. So that's always important for a player.
What were you better at the second game?
What's that?
What were you better at the second game?
Oh, man. Well, I think some of the things that I talked about, like in terms of being able to get out of the pocket when I needed to, and just, not that it was a ton, but I still think there was, some similarities that showed up in some of the other thing. The thing I was disappointed in on a few plays were just my feet and the routes, and I threw a couple bad balls that I'm not used to throwing just because I don't feel like my feet were tied in with my eyes and all that stuff. So more just conscious of still the improvements I need to make as opposed to, what I improved on.
Joe, we've talked.
Who are some of the quarterbacks that you may have heard from? I heard Peyton say something nice about you on TV the other day. Have you heard from some of the, quarterbacks that were your peers, throughout your career? And if so, can you share anything that maybe somebody has said?
I've mostly heard the last few weeks of just guys that I've played with, coaches that I've, been with, whether it's people from Baltimore, Delaware, New York. I think you make a lot of relationships with the people that you play with. And that's kind of always how I've been. Everybody always asks me, do you have a relationship with this guy or this guy or this guy? I mean, I'm kind of private as it is, and I have a lot of relationships with the guys that I've played with. But outside of that, I've never really gone out of my way to make a ton of those relationships. I don't want to be a bother. But I've mostly, like I said, heard from the people that I've played with and the coaches that I've had in the past and all that. And it's been fun, obviously.
Joe, we've talked about how fast this all happened. If we'd have told you 89 passes in the first 2 games, would you have thought that was coming?
Listen, I've been around long enough to know that you really can't, set some kind of expectation and to actually come true. This is the NFL. You get into these games, and each game is its own thing, and you just have to do what's meant for you to, what's made for you, and during the game. Listen, when you're out there playing, you don't even realize how many times you're dropping back. It's just kind of part of what happens.
Joe, as you've gone with this team, how has your relationship with Kevin grown, just as you've acclimated to him as a coach?
Yeah, listen, I think he does a great job, and I think he deserves a lot of credit, obviously, with the amount of variables that he's been dealing with this year. And for me and him, it's just obviously the more he gets a feel for, what we're good at while I'm back there, and the more we can talk in the meeting rooms. Obviously, the more I play, the more easily conversations come up. So you get a better feel for each other that way.
Did you see that Miles called you Kevin Stefanski's long-lost brother?
Somebody was saying that last week. I mean, I'm a guy with a beard. I could shave it off and look completely different tomorrow. So I probably should. It's just playing into the fact that I'm an older quarterback. If I shave this off, it would probably take 5 years off. But
Joe, Wyatt Teller was saying that down the stretch the other day, you were kind of I think he called you a calming voice of reason in the final couple of minutes. How important is that role for you, just to kind of keep everybody on task and, in the moment as you talk about?
I don't think it's like actively what I'm trying to do out there at this point, but I hope that my personality and my playing style can definitely bring that along with it. And that's what a quarterback's job is. That's what a leader's job is. So I'm glad to hear that. And like I said, at this point in my career, it's not like I'm super conscious of it anymore, but definitely want to be that guy.
Joe, kind of off of Tom's question, just about you've been in a lot of big situations, big moments over your career. Now you're in the midst of a playoff push here. How much is that experience going to help you, and what can you impart on these guys, as they go, try to close this out?
It's always tough to quantify like the experience thing and how much it actually matters, because in the moment on Sunday it comes down to what you're doing on that individual play. But I'm a big believer in that being in tough situations prepares you for the toughest of situations. And if you're a team that deals with a lot of adversity and plays these tight games, even though it's not exactly what you want all the time and it's not perfect, and it definitely prepares you for games that are going to have to be that way down the stretch. I think early in my career, every now and then we would beat up on a team and blow them out, and it wouldn't be a game in the fourth quarter. But I feel like the teams I was on back then played so many games where it came down to the last drive or the last 5 minutes of the game, and you just get used to treating them like normal situations and not overreacting in those situations. So I think the more that a team like this can deal with those, then the better off we'll be. And Sunday was kind of like that. It was that environment. Whatever you believe that should have happened in that game, or we should have done that to that team, it was what it was, and it came down to the last couple minutes of the game. And I think in the long run, it's one of those things that we can kind of draw from in the end and realize that we don't have to overreact and panic in those situations. We can just stay true to ourselves and go play the game.
Joe, I know you didn't play at all with Jed, Will. You only had the one game with DeWine, but I mean, how do you guys kind of react and deal with losing both starting tackles within 2 days?
It's just the next man up. You can't really think about it. I mean, we found out late last week, I guess, that you know, DeWine wasn't going to be able to go, and it's a shame. I mean, you want your guys out there, but like I said, these are all. Everybody in here is our guy, and it's just next man up mentality, and that's what I talked about earlier. I think you have to give a lot of credit to Kevin just for dealing with those variables and being able to continue to go out there and have success.
Joe, how have you ever been part of the season where, like, you've just seen this mass amount of injuries? I mean, injuries are always going to happen, but you stepped into it. You weren't here for all of them, but just to have this sheer number, how do you keep spirits up and not let that be demoralized when you see more guys?
Yeah, I've probably been part of seasons where we've been injured like this. I don't know if anywhere we're still standing 8-5. So I think the fact that we've been able to go out there, these guys have been able to go out there and still put together a bunch of wins, has definitely helped the mindset in terms of that. Obviously, if it was the other way, you wouldn't be feeling as good. But I think going out there and winning cures a lot.
Joe, last one. What is it like for you to be able to incorporate some of these younger guys and spread that ball around and have moments like David Bell's first career touchdown? What's it like for you to be a part of that?
It's a lot of fun after the fact. I mean, during the game, you're just trying to throw the ball to the right guy and find the open guy. But I don't know if you guys saw it when he was running into the end zone, the big smile he had on his face. At the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. It's about going out there and having fun and competing and enjoying the process of it all. So definitely really cool to see that.
Joe, can I squeeze
all right,
one
thanks,
more?
guys.
Joe, I'm sorry. I'm just curious. Now that you're back out there, have you given any thoughts how much longer you want to do this?
Not specifically. I don't know if I've ever. I think probably early on, people would ask me, you know, how long do you want to play? And you probably say 15 years or something. But at this point, you know, I don't really want to put a number on anything. I just want to go out there and play my best and then see where that goes. I think I've been in enough situations now to realize that it may or may not be up to me. So you just got to go out there and play and don't take anything for granted.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. I think you'll get Denzel back this week.
That's the goal, obviously. I said it in after the game last week. Just seeing how hard he's worked to get back. So definitely getting him back would definitely give us a boost for sure.
Hey, Greg, when you watch Fields, like what really jumps out at you?
He's a great player. I think he gets a lot of critique from the media and things like that, but he's a great player. I've been playing him since college. He can make every single throw, has a strong arm. He runs like a running back. He kind of reminds me of like Cam Newton style of being able to be a physical runner but can also make a bunch of throws. So I think he definitely gets a lot of critique, but I think he's also a great young player too.
Does that help you when you're, prepping for a quarterback, when you're facing a guy that you got to see in college?
Oh, for sure. Just being able to get some extra reps on him, knowing what he likes, knowing what he doesn't like. And just seeing the evolution from him in college is also fun to watch as well.
DJ Moore's putting up some numbers. What makes him so tough?
He can run every single route. He's kind of built like a Debo where he's like real stocky, but then he also can run great routes as well. So he's definitely a guy that makes a lot of his plays after the catch as well. So we have to do a great job tackling him when he does get some catches.
Greg, you guys have been so good defensively at home specifically. But after Sunday's game, does that help prep for this game because you guys got back to where you were and the success you have been having?
For sure. I say it all the time, like the home crowd is our 12th man. Like, they do so much for us out there, and it was definitely great to get back out there after losing 2 straight to get out there and get in front of the home crowd and just feel the energy that they brought, and we're hoping they bring that again this Sunday.
How are you guys as a secondary moving off of that win, trying to ride that momentum, but also staying grounded and focused on that goal, 1-0 every week?
Yeah, we don't become we're never complacent, and the thing we expect to make those plays and things like that. Games that we're playing very well, we expect to do that. So it's easy to move on to the next game when you're expected, and we're forced to make those plays and play well. So it's easy to just move on to the next one and try to go 1-0 the next week.
What's it been like to be able to watch just the development of MJ? You know, you have a front row seat to it. He had a couple rough moments on the road trip, and he comes back out there again on Sundays for rebounds. What's that like for you?
Oh, it's amazing. Just even from last year, just seeing him, just evolve and become like a number 1 corner. It's amazing to see. We expect that out of him each and every week. Like we said, man, there's going to be games where, I won't play well, he won't play well, but the ability to be resilient and bounce back and make a Hall of Fame type of performance last week was just amazing to see.
It looks like you might not have Grant Delpit. What does that do to you guys in the second?
Man, Grant does a lot for us. Obviously, with the contract extension, that already shows you what everybody in the building feels about him, and that shows you what we feel about him. He's a hard-nosed player. He sets the tone for us, especially with his physicality, his leadership. So just hoping we get him back out there too.
Greg, if you do have to, you finished the game with a couple of real young safeties back there. First of all, how do you think they played, and how does that affect what you guys do as a defense if you have to go with those guys again?
I thought they played amazing. Just singling first on Ronnie Hickman. Like, you guys seen it out there. He made a crucial stop. He was playing physical, playing very instinctive. Whoever's out there, obviously missing guys like Juan, who wasn't able to play out there, and Grant, and then Rod obviously out for the season. Like, that's a big toll on us. But when you got young guys that have been learning from those vets, and when their opportunity came, they rose up to the challenge.
Greg, playing in a defensive backfield because of the way the rule book is written, the way the game is officiated these days, why have you guys been able to be, I guess, as aggressive and successful with your aggressiveness without hurting the team?
Yeah, we know some of those calls are 50-50. Some of them won't go our way. But Coach Schwartz literally tells us, like, be physical. First down, obviously on crucial downs, like, you got to play a little bit, on third downs where if you do get a holding penalty, they'll get a first down. But on those first downs, like, you got to set the tone. You set the tone early, and then later in the game, the refs, they might give you some of them later in the game. So, we just try to set the tone early with the physicality.
Greg, how proud are you of the way you bounced back after that Denver game, which probably wasn't your best, but then you come back to the last 2 games?
I'm definitely proud of myself. Like I said, corners, it's the toughest position in sports, and sometimes you get beat, that's fine, but I know what type of player I am. My teammates know what type of player I am, so I wasn't really too worried about that type of performance because they knew that I'd bounce back. Coach Schwartz told me after the game, in the meeting in front of the whole defense, was like, Greg probably didn't play his best game, but he'll bounce back. Like, he wasn't worried about that. So definitely proud of myself, but, that's what I expect out of myself.
And then it looks like the Bears run a ton of, like, receiver screens, right, like stuff to it. So does that challenge you guys as corners to come up and make tackles like you've been doing?
For sure. Like we say every week, this has got to be our best tackling week. Definitely at the corner position, DJ Moore, great receiver. Yards after the catch is what he specializes in, so we have to do a great job in containing him after the catch.
Greg, you guys have obviously had a next man up mentality all season, but as you go through so many different injuries and guys coming in and different faces kind of week to week, just what are those conversations like that have made you guys so successful at communicating, like, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're trying to do? Like, how has it been sort of almost flawless throughout most of the season, even when guys are kind of filling in?
Yeah, I think it's just a belief. Teams always say next man up, but who actually truly believes in the next man up? We actually believe in our guys. As you can see, when Ronnie was out there playing, D-Bell was out there playing, we didn't change the scheme. We're not going to run something else just to cater to them. No, they're ball players as well. So we trust in our guys. I think that's the biggest difference.
Have you gotten to know Joe Flacco at all in those last few weeks that he's been here?
Kind of. He's kind of by me, like in the locker room, but didn't really get to know him too much. But he's been doing great for us.
I mean, what's kind of, I mean, he's the story of the town, right? Like, what's he kind of, the hope he's provided or kind of calming things down? Like, how would you describe his influence?
Yeah, just a leader who's been there and done it all. Has gotten teams to the playoffs. Just the poise he plays with, the ability to, if he makes a mistake, being able to bounce back, and just all that positive vibes he brings to this organization.
There's been so much that Kevin has had to deal with as head coach, and just what influence has he had on you guys, and how has his I guess non-emotional reaction to most things, especially the negative stuff, benefited you guys as a team?
Players coach. That's the biggest thing I can say. Whether someone makes a mistake or not, he always takes it on himself and things like that. So just being the ultimate players coach, trusting in us to go out there and make plays, just everything. He gets a lot of scrutiny in the media as well, but for us to be down so much and for guys to keep stepping up, he's done an amazing job for us.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thanks,
All good.
Hey, Walk, Wyatt Teller was saying the other day that Joe Flacco was a real voice of kind of reason down the stretch. Like, he was kind of saying, hey, if this happens, then we got to do this, what have you. How important is it to have that kind of guy who's basically seen everything over 15 years on the sideline, let alone in the huddle?
Yeah, no doubt. A guy like that with a lot of experience, every game situation, nothing should surprise him at this point. He's been playing for 100 years. So he's getting those guys ready just in case if it was a 2-minute or we're up 2 or we're up, 4, we end up being up 4 or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure he's telling those guys, how to manage that situation. So, like I said, a guy that's been around, he's done it all, seen it all, is able to communicate to the guys, the different types of situations that we could be in.
Miles described him as Kevin's long-lost brother. Has anybody busted him on that?
Yeah, nah, not yet. Yeah, that's all Miles on that one.
Anthony, it's one thing, though, considering everything that has happened at that position this year, you guys, I think, have made 7 changes leading up to games because of injuries. It's one thing to say that you believe in a guy. It's another to really, truly believe that. What is it about Joe that, with him coming in here, it feels like you guys believed in him from day one? What is it about him that earned that, so quickly?
Not the fact that he won a Super Bowl or anything like that. That would just be, that's the man.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know. But a guy with so much experience, has played winning football in the NFL for a very long time, knows how to get the job done. Until he proves otherwise, he's still a great quarterback, and what we need for right now to kind of steady us as a team. Just great to have, and to find someone like that late in the season after what we've gone through, we got the luck of the draw on that one.
It looks like you've lost a couple more guys, Maurice Hurst, maybe Grant Delpit. How much more can this defense absorb and still keep winning?
I hope we don't have to find out anymore. No, man, we believe in everybody in this locker room. They're here for a reason. Obviously, it sucks, right, to lose guys. We've done it all year, from week 1 on. So the name of the NFL is next man up, as we all like to say. We don't like to say it, but we have to say it. The next man up mentality. And, we believe in everybody in this locker room. So whoever gets that opportunity, we believe in that person. And it won't be no different with the new guys stepping up.
Well, guys, you guys have a young operation for the Bears. What stands out offensively that you guys hope to combat on Sunday?
Yeah, number one, looks very great on film. He can make every throw. He can, run the ball as well. When you have a dual threat quarterback like that, obviously we've had our share of them this year, but when you have a quarterback like that can, kind of make the game multi-dimensional. Make you cover every blade of grass on the field is very, very special and very unique. So, we got to obviously be fundamentally sound in everything that we do, and dictate the game and not let them dictate the game.
Is that more of a mental approach when you are facing a dual threat quarterback because of the way they can run and pass the ball?
Yeah, for sure. It makes you have to layer the coverage a little bit, and you have to rush and cover has to be on point. We say that every week, but when you play a dual threat quarterback, it has to be almost perfect to get the job done.
Do you feel like you guys have struggled against some of those guys this year, and even guys that can do the zone, the zone read stuff? And what do you need to fix in that area?
Yeah, I think we could be better, and pretty much every part of the game, rush coverage, blitz, whatever. I think we've honed in on our fundamentals and technique against the zone read and all that stuff. So we just got to go out and execute. It's just all 11 of us, one ball carrier, and we got to get the guy down and play well on third down, play well in the red zone, and like I said, just our same goals every week.
It seems things got better after the Minshew game. Was there more emphasis or more awareness of it after that?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Grant might end up having to miss the final 4 games of the season with this groin injury. How well was Grant playing? And then also, were you happy to see that he was able to get his extension and achieve some of those goals?
Yeah, I was about to say that's how well he was playing. He got an extension. But yeah, Pro Bowl caliber year from him. Put the work in all off season. Really stepped into his own this year, and he'll be fine when he gets back. Getting back into that role, and obviously it sucks to lose, like I said, any guy on our team, but you lose a guy like Grant Delpit, really excelling in run defense and coverage and everything like that, blitzing as well. Hate that for him, but for our team, we got other guys that have to step up. Guys that can step up, that's proven that they can do that. And we got to have each other's back. And then if he is able to get back, we obviously welcome him with open arms. And but we can't worry about the playoffs right now. We got to worry about this week, and this is the biggest game of our lives.
Greg kind of echoed your sentiments about players on your side of the ball stepping up when called upon. What is it about it? And he said that you guys don't change anything, just guys have stepped in and just kind of picked up where others have left off. What have you seen from some of these reserve guys that weren't getting a lot of playing time early, where they have been able to be so successful and in key moments too?
Yeah, I think it's a testament to their preparation, preparing like starters, and when their number's called, they're not scrambling to get ready. They're already ready. Like I said, a testament to them, but also a testament to the coaches, position coaches doing a great job. The DB coaches, linebacker coaches, D-line coaches, whenever we have somebody step up, there's no drop-off. Like Greg said, there's no different play calling or anything like that. Everybody knows the scheme, knows what we're doing and trying to get accomplished, and they execute it really well. So, testament to player and coach.
Is Sigma?
Okay, thanks. It seems so much has happened to this team, from Greenbrier to now. Guys, quarterback, this and that. And there's still 4 games left.
Mm-hmm.
Does it seem like that kind of year to you that the finish line is farther up than the normal?
No, normal season. Like I said, last year was 10 linebackers go down. This year is just different positions. But again, I think we prepared ourselves. I believe a lot better than we have probably in the past of guys going down and not really being executed. Not executing at the same tempo and everything like that. I think we've gotten a lot better at that. Guys being ready to go when their number's called. Like I said, testament to player and coach. We've been through a lot, but nobody's going to feel sorry for us. And this December football, you can't ask for a better position to be in. Give yourself a shot to get into the playoffs and 1 game seasons from there. And you can go as far as you want to go. So I wouldn't trade it. Obviously I love to be having Nick Chubb and Deshaun and everybody healthy, but I wouldn't trade this position at all.
Is a signal caller on the defense, and with the potential of 2 young safeties out there, and that's how you finished the game the other day, does that put more on your plate? Do you have to communicate more with those guys?
I like to over communicate. No matter who's in the game. But like you said, I feel like those guys are prepared enough. So if I give them little reminders and tips, they already on it. They're a little younger, so they listen really well. But like I said, those guys are prepared. So I'm not really worried about over communicating with those guys as much as I am just doing my job, and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Chicago has beaten some really good teams this year. Is that something going into this week that you guys are hypersensitive about? Not to insinuate you would take an opponent lightly, but just the fact that they're not in contention like you guys are, and they, like you said, they played well against really good teams.
Yeah, you can't worry about that, especially in the NFL. This is the NFL for a reason. Everybody has good players. There's no bad players. There's no bad teams. So we have to bring it, and we understand that. Like I said, it's the biggest game of our lives, and we understand that. We have to approach it that way. But at the end of the day, it is nameless, faceless opponents, and we're trying to get better as a team. So we're taking that approach, but obviously there's a team standing in front of us that we have to defeat this week.
Anthony, obviously the next man up mentality has been like the on the field perspective, just next guy up. But just from like a morale standpoint, I would imagine it gets pretty discouraging to just see the sheer number of guys who've gotten injured. So how do you keep spirits up, and how do you kind of keep guys not getting down on the situation?
Yeah, you hate to lose somebody, right? You hate to lose sorry, let me not say it like that. This isn't life or death, right? You hate to, not go out there with your brothers that you've grinded with all season and all off season and stuff like that. But again, we've had guys in here in this locker room that's been with us the whole time as well, that has been waiting for their opportunity. And it just happens like that sometimes. You never know when your number's going to be called. So all you got to do is, stay ready. And, when your number is called, you go out there and you're prepared. And you go out there and execute, and you want to help contribute. So it gives the opportunity for that. But obviously, like I said, it sucks not having those guys out there. But like I said, nobody's going to feel sorry for us, so we can't feel sorry for ourselves.
I know you got that fumble the other day, but are you saving the interception for like the playoff clincher?
I guess so. I guess so. I hope that's the case.
Did you think you had like the pick six there at the end?
Yeah. He threw a bad ball. If the ball would have been perfect, I would have caught it. If I wouldn't have tipped it, MJ would have caught it because it was so bad. But I think he knew that, so he threw it away, kind of. But yeah, hopefully I'm saving it for the playoffs.
Are you spending any extra time on the jugs gun because you've had some opportunities?
Yeah, I've had
this
some
year.
opportunities. Yeah, and I have been doing extra. So.
You play, Walt.
Get out of here, Rod.
If you could catch, you'd be a receiver, right?
Yeah, I did play receiver, so yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't been my year right now. So we'll get it done when we need to.
David hasn't invited you over to use the jugs machine at his house.
All right, now Dave got a couple drops on the year too now. So I'll make sure we both on there. Oh, good. Appreciate y'all.